Hey friends, Carla here, and I got nothing, y'all. Like, I am still in the midst of trying to figure out what I want to use for the calendar year of 2023. The only thing I have set in stone right now is my MakseLife system. Now, I'm in the companion notebooks, and I'm really loving the system. I've been in the system for a while. I'm comfortable in the system. I am really enjoying how everything is working out, especially because I am doing the 12-week year. And so I've got a lot of notes back here for all of my breakdowns. I am doing really well here. So where I'm really struggling is trying to figure out what I want my main functional planner to be, because I have a lot of options. I was in my rings, and I love my rings because they serve me really, really well. One of my biggest concerns is just the size of the pages for my monthly view. I've said in the past that my monthly view is my main kind of planning area, and overall it's actually working really, really well. I like the compatibility of it. I like the fact that I can kind of move things around. I also love the fact that I can change the layout every single week if I need to, or just honestly have like note pages in there for all of my lists. And so I'm still using this as my everyday carry. It's still with me everywhere. I took all my wallet stuff out, but all of my wallet stuff is over here as well. Really the biggest thing that I am missing in here is my space for gratitude and memories. My goal for this year is to have one common area for all of that. So obviously I want it to be the common planner because it has enough pages to where I can do all of it. So my struggle right now with the common planner is honestly just like the text color of the planner itself. It's a very, very light gray. For me, the grid is extremely challenging to see. I'm not sure I really love the idea that my pen is so much darker than the dates. That is definitely stuff that I can absolutely get over. And I love the size of this, and it's interesting because I didn't even, like when I decided rings this year, I didn't even compare sizes. I chose personal rings just because I've had personal rings in the past, like a decade ago in the past, and it was just super easy to carry. But then I didn't realize that a B6 bound planner was essentially the exact same size. So I've been playing with my common planner a lot this week because this is a space that I can have all of my monthlies. I can have all of my weeklies because I can easily use this as just kind of like a time blocking and a memory keeping. And so I have the capability of having all of my memory keeping in here. And then the note pages, what I've been doing is just sectioning it out into a grid of 8 to where I can have tasks for each day. And then I also have here all of my gratitude, my notes, if I've gotten any happy mail, I have, all of my emotional stuff in here as well. So this is kind of like memory keeping, tasks, functional, time blocking, and just kind of like all of it. And again, my biggest struggle with this is just the color of the grid and the text on the planner itself, because oftentimes when I'm doing these pages, it's usually sitting in the living room in the evening after the kids have gone to bed, and I do a lot of my task list for the next day in addition to my gratitude for that day on the couch. It's not very well lit in my living room, and so I'm really having a hard time with kind of seeing where I'm writing. And I can absolutely sit here at my kitchen table and do all of that with overhead lights on, but I'm just cozier on my couch. So I have played with this in a way that I had first intended when I purchased it in 2022 to use it for 2023. So my intent was to have it as my true commonplace planner. So I have sectioned out all of my pages that I need. If I do a week for 2 pages, which is 104 pages. And so I've sectioned all of that out, okay? So this is everything that I would need for my dailies, my gratitude, and my bullet style memory keeping, okay? And then I have 12 pages for my monthly trackers. And then I've created 52 pages for my weekly menus. And then I have back here unused, unplanned, undedicated note pages. So I'm essentially setting this up exactly as I set up my bullet journal that I had for the Zequins in 2022 before it quite literally fell apart and pages were coming out. And so I'm also extremely happy with this because I know I can have everything in one space. Whereas here I would be missing my gratitude bullet journal memory keeping type because it is just enough for my monthly views, my trackers, and my functional weekly. And my desire to have a whole year in one book is stronger than my desire, I think, for rings right now. I love rings in the fact that, like, I honestly, like, love just holding this planner. It's very soft, it's squishy, it's a good size. I love the idea of being able to move things around, changing layouts when I need it. I love all of the space that it has. But honestly, I think right now my desire, and it has always been, my desire to have everything in one space is way stronger than any of these other planners, regardless of the company and regardless of my feel for it in my hands, because I did a lot of reflecting, and the time that I was happiest in 2022 was when I had my Zequins. It was the 400-page notebook, and it was my bullet journal, and it had everything in it. Now, this can't exactly be a bullet journal in the fact that it's got pre-planned and pre-laid out weeklies. But if you remember from last year, I was doing an hourly spread, and I was doing my menus, and I was doing my pages in the back here. And so I think this is where I'm leaning at, because I still do have some pages that I want to add into here that I had in my 2022. Like, I had my food inventory, which I actually have in here already because this was my wallet. I've got my budget pages in here. I've got a running list of things I need to purchase in here. I had annual goals in here. And I can get all of that in this. Again, really the biggest thing that is like, that I would move out of it for is just because of the lightness of this here. But I have space for goals here. You know, I've got my goal breakdowns and I've got my quarterlies, which is honestly perfect because I'm doing the 12-week year. So I have my space for all of that. So I essentially have the space for everything. So I think this is where I'm leaning this year. Now, the only other downside is my wallet. So this would require me to carry this planner in addition to a separate wallet, whereas this was an all-in-one system. Size-wise, like I said, it's the exact same size, maybe with like a centimeter in width. And so this is still going to fit in my purse just fine. And then, of course, because I'm an overthinker, I brought out my Sweet Freckled Designs weekly diary because I have the Bujo Planner wallet insert. And then I was like, oh, I could just easily do this, and I can use all of these pages for my functional. I could use the back pages for my bullet journal, task, and memory keeping. And I did actually go to set it up, and my mild liner bled through. And I was super sad. It's definitely something I could work through and I can get over, but like as I was in the process of setting it up, my gray mild liner bled through the pages, and I don't know, I just kind of lost a little bit of desire for it. But it's just because I have too many options, and because I'm picky, that's why. And so I will keep this in mind if I ever wanted to trade out I know that I have options that I could interchange, but I think right now I'm going to stick with this and this. Like, I think that this is going to be my stack, knowing that I could change out anytime and go into my rings. But again, that if I go into my rings, I would have to back plan and put all of that same information in here when I came back into here later. So I don't know. I want to say that I'm going to commit and stick to one planner for the rest of the year, but you guys know that I'm just not going to. It's just how I am. I'm just not going to. I like change. And so I just wanted to kind of give you guys that update. I am going to still play around in here and try and figure things out and lay everything out appropriately. I am going to start carrying it around with me. Again, my wallet insert for the Bujo planner is here, and so I don't have strings to put it in here for this cover, but I could easily just put like all of this stuff essentially in a Ziploc bag and stick it in this folder. I could try and carry it like this as well, just with my wallet in there, but I also don't have a closure like this on this cover. And so I think I'm just going to put this wallet insert in my purse right next to it and just kind of call it good. My goal setting system does not travel with me, so I'm not going to have to be bringing it out of the house. And so this folio system is just fine for my goal setting, but this is what I'm leaning towards. And I just really honestly like the way this whole setup looks. I like all of the tabs that I put on. These are the Aura Estelle tabs. They're the skinny tabs. I have the black for the months, and then I have the lavender for the weeks. And then right now, until I can figure out exactly the sections I want, I'm just using some sticky notes for my back pages for my bullet journal. I love the gilded edges. I love the way it looks against Maria's cover with this little shiny coppery gold back here. So I'm going to try this as long as I can, and hopefully in the evening times it won't be too challenging for me to see kind of where I'm planning as well. Maybe I could use that as an excuse to just always plan when I need to do a video and just do a plan with me every week, because that's kind of what I've done for the past year, is a weekly plan with me. So maybe I'll do that, and that way I can have some light when I plan. I don't know, but I just wanted to give you guys the update. I have to reheat this plastic vinyl cover as well, because it's still, I've already heated it once, but it's still bending my cover. But I'm also still extremely committed to not spending any money right now. I have plenty of planner supplies readily available for me already, so I will not be purchasing the Sterling Ink specific vinyl cover for this. But I definitely need to have this cover on, because this is the exact same linen cover of my bullet journal that tore in half. And so I definitely need it protected. So as of right now, this week anyway, I'm liking how everything is looking pen only. But as you know from my last bullet journal, usually I have a tendency to go back, you know, at the end of the month and like kind of put stickers down and decorate the weeks and stuff. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that quite yet. But just a little bit of a planner chat to kind of let everybody know what I am thinking and where my brain is at. And also sometimes, like when I do these, it helps me process a lot of things, and it helps me really talk things out, figure out what I'm wanting, what I'm needing, and then just kind of prioritize and go from there. But I know that a lot of people are in this boat, and I know a lot of people are really struggling with trying to figure out what they're using and changing their mind essentially every day, just because there's so many amazing products out there right now, and there's just so many phenomenal companies that you just get the feeling of wanting to just literally use everything. But thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for always following along and being interested in my journey. I truly appreciate each one of you that are here, and all of you that comment and kind of tell me that you're in the same boat too. I know it's a struggle, but maybe we can talk it out in the comments and we can figure out what our priorities are and what we need in a planner versus what we actually want in a planner. Because that's been a lot of my reflections in my like journaling, is just trying to figure out wants versus needs. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys later.